All right, y'all, we back with another reaction right here on ABP Reactions. This one is called Killer Doctor Realizes He's Been Caught. I don't know what he's been caught doing, but we finna find out together. Let's go.
In the early morning hours of March 2nd, 2022, 56-year-old Kenny Fandrich was driving to work when he noticed somebody following him. He called 911, and an officer with the Hillsborough Police Department pulled over Kenny's stalker.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Officer Edwards, Hillsborough Police. Just so you know, I have a body-worn camera on, so it's audio video recording. Do you know why we're stopping you today?
Is that a dog?
Get a hold of this guy and I'm following him.
Okay, why are you following him?
He's been living down a life, and I've been trying to talk to him about it.
Do you think that's wise to be following around the city?
Well, we're going to have a discussion about it.
Okay.
So,
What's
not really,
your,
but
what's your role in the whole thing?
she's been a friend of mine for 20 years,
Okay.
and I just want to let him know that I don't want him to beat her up anymore.
Okay. All right. Do you have any weapons in the car?
Okay.
Okay. Hang tight for me. I'll be right back with you.
The officer then returned to his vehicle and ran the stalker's ID through the system. It
Look at this nigga.
came back as Dr. Stephen Milner, a
Oh,
highly
Doc.
respected and successful veterinarian who runs his
Damn.
own practice in Oregon City.
He's been living down a life, and I've been trying to talk to him about it.
What's your role in the whole thing?
She's been a friend of mine for 20 years.
The friend he's referring to is Tanya Fandrich, a vet tech that had worked for him from 2002 to 2019.
He was smashing. Hey, he was smashing. A friend of mine for 20 years. You know them doctors, nigga, them niggas be fucking. Hey, oh, never mind, because y'all might have like a nurse wife or something. Never mind, disregard.
It turns out that Stephen became obsessed with Tanya and had been harassing her and her husband for several years. Unsure of Stephen's intentions, the officer gave him a stern warning.
Wow.
So, here's my advice to you. Okay? This is very, very strong advice. Leave them alone.
Leave
He
him be.
wants nothing to do with you. She wants nothing to do with you. I understand there was an affair, all sorts of back history that went on. If you show up at their house, if you contact them, anything like that.
So he smashed before. It was an affair. He smashed before, and she cut it off, and she probably like, look, me and my husband, we're working on us. He's been acting right, and I just want to do right as a wife and work on our relationship, and he don't know how to take it. And he over there following it with his fucking dog. He's a sicko.
You're gonna go to jail.
Stephen tried to convince the officer that he was only doing this because Tanya's life was in danger.
And he has told her that people put her in the cistern at the house. I'm the only person who gives a shit, and I'm not allowed to give a shit.
I want to be very, very clear with you, okay? Leave them alone. Because you're very close to going to jail today for stalking.
Uh-oh.
Okay? Like, very, very close. Okay?
On the body camera, he is going to kill her. She is going to die, and he is going to kill her.
Actually, 11 months after this incident, it would be Kenny who was found with his neck snapped.
Oh my fucking God. What? Damn. You just dropped a bomb on us like that? You didn't like ease into it? That shit, whoa, my nigga, goddamn.
Dead in his vehicle. On the morning of January 27th, 2023, Kenny pulled into a parking garage in his black Honda Civic, ready for his shift in Hillsborough, Oregon. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but as soon as he grabbed his tools and left the parking garage, a masked man suddenly appeared and began spray painting as many surveillance cameras as he
we
could
know who
find.
that is.
One of the cameras was pointed directly at Kenny's vehicle. The man knew exactly where most of the cameras were.
We know who
making it
that
appear
is.
like this was a carefully planned operation. However, he did miss some cameras that were less visible or harder to reach.
Come on, bro. See, that's the thing about when you're a big guy like myself. It's kind of hard for us. Like, if you are already on the radar of somebody he got beef with or somebody has been stalking him, you know, this guy that's about 5'7" or 6'2" and he weighs 340, like, nigga, you're going to stand out. Look at you, bro. It's a fat guy. You're a fat guy, so they're going to put two and two together. They're going to see how you walk, your hunch on your back when you walk. They're going to read all those type of little details, and they're going to catch your ass. They know it's you.
Once the masked man was done, he left the parking garage in a blue Buick sedan. Then, at 1:13 p.m., a maroon minivan entered the parking garage and pulled into the space right beside Kenny's car. A couple of hours later, Kenny finished his shift and made his way back to his vehicle, completely unaware that he was walking right into the killer's
Into a trap.
The headlights on Kenny's car can be seen flashing through the camera's obstructed view as he unlocks his vehicle. Moments later, Kenny is attacked and he disappears into the back of the minivan. His headlights begin flashing over and over until eventually the flashing stops. 10 minutes later, more movement is captured before the maroon minivan drives away, exiting the parking garage. Hours later, the Hillsborough Police Department received a call from Tanya reporting Kenny missing.
Kenny
I
ain't
called
came
him,
home.
couldn't get a hold of him, and he always answered, always took my call. And I was like, that's not right.
She told the police that Kenny always shared his phone location with her, and it showed that he was still at work. So the police agreed to go to the parking garage to look for him. When they arrived, they found Kenny brutally murdered in the driver's seat of his Honda Civic.
Damn.
His neck appeared to be broken, and his face was blue. Not long after this discovery, Kenny's wife Tanya arrived at the scene.
Damn. God damn. Well, it's kind of obvious who the fuck it was going to be, right? If this nigga, like, bro, they on your line, and then you go do this stupid shit, like, they already own you for being a stalker. What a fucking idiot.
We're not sure right now. We're gonna have medics. He's here in the garage somewhere.
She could immediately tell by the officer's reaction that something bad had happened.
Oh my God, no. Oh my God, oh my God.
What if she's in
The
on
police
it?
didn't want to confirm
Plot
her
twist.
suspicions until EMS had pronounced Kenny dead. A few minutes later, the cops broke the tragic news to Tanya.
It can't be happening. It can't be happening. This can't be real. It can't be real. This can't really be happening.
We're going to have the medical examiner come out and investigate this, okay? Has he been having any issues lately?
No, but he has a stalker.
This comment caught the officer's attention.
Common fucking sense. See what happened? Look who they gonna say first. He got a stalker. Then they gonna go to you. You fit the description, you dumbass nigga.
So after the initial grief had subsided, the police interviewed Tanya and learned about her long history with Kenny's stalker, Stephen Milner.
Hi, I'm Steve Milner, owner of the Milner Veterinary Hospital. I have the best veterinary team in the area. My doctors are skilled surgeons, thorough diagnosticians, and great communicators.
Dumbass.
Nobody has a team like I do.
Shut up,
Milner Veterinary
stupid.
Hospital in Oregon City. Where pets are family.
Stupid ass collar shirt, pissing me off.
Tanya said that she was one of the first people that Stephen hired when he opened his vet clinic back in 2000.
He would constantly say that the clinic is as much mine as it is his. We were working 6 days a week. I would say we were friends at that point in time.
The vet clinic became a fixture in Oregon City, and Stephen had a reputation of being a kind and empathetic country vet.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Dr. Milner.
Hey, Princess. If I can do an alternative thing that doesn't require medication,
Damn.
drugs, and chemicals, that's really nice.
She's a happy girl.
However, his romantic life wasn't nearly as successful, and by 2017, his second marriage was beginning to fail.
Who would think this guy, just looking at him for these commercials, if I would have saw these commercials, I would never be like, oh, this nigga's a crazy ass stalker and a killer. You would never think that. He doesn't have the description of that, but hey, man, you know how it go.
That's when we were commiserating with each other about what was going on in his life and what was going on in my life.
Tanya's marriage had tension in it as well, because she believed that Kenny had been cheating on her during his work trips to Washington State. As their relationship began to break down, Kenny started drinking heavily, which led to frequent domestic disputes.
He pretty much drank every night. We fought. Usually it would start because I would try and pour out his booze when he'd had too much. And that would start the physical pushing and shoving.
Around this time, Kenny got arrested for driving under the influence and was thrown in jail. When Tanya went back to work the next day, she found out that Stephen and his wife were separating.
He came to work and said, oh, my wife is divorcing me. She moved out this weekend. And I said, well, my husband was in jail this weekend for
Oh, freaks.
a DUI. We kind of laughed and commiserated.
The two started flirting with each other, which then
Freaks.
quickly turned into a full-on affair. During this time, Tanya told Stephen that Kenny was abusing her. Stephen tried to convince Tanya to leave Kenny for him, but before she could make that decision, Kenny cut her and Stephen together.
Wow, this is crazy. Look at that. My wife is leaving me. She moved out this weekend. Well, that's crazy, because my husband's in jail for DUI. We should go have some drinks ourselves. You know what I mean? And got up in them draws. Easy. Ooh, these motherfuckers. Oh, white ladies be freaks.
My husband caught me at Milner's house. After that, we never went back to having. We still worked together. We remained on a friendly basis,
Really?
but no physicality.
While Tanya was quickly able to move on from the affair and focus on fixing her marriage, Steven seemed to have a much harder time.
It was hard to just even be able to do my job because he was always around. He was always hanging out in the treatment area.
That gotta be awkward as fuck, y'all. Hold on, wait a minute. That gotta be awkward. She said, okay, we got caught, we stopped cheating, and then I still work there. What? You can't do that with a nigga? What? Like, y'all just, he just left his wife. He's out of a whole relationship. He just left his wife, and you the first bounce back. So this is his first, you know what I mean? Free. I ain't cheating. I'm doing this freely. So his emotions is like, they all the way attached probably to you. Like, I like you. I love you. And then you stop giving me that, you know what I mean? Stop giving me the snatch, and then you still coming around this motherfucker, tuning your thing up at the office, and I can't hit it.
Following me around, was always trying to convince me that he was better and that I should be with him and not with Kenny.
Steven began sending her an abundance of love letters, trying to win her back. When Tanya didn't
That's
reciprocate
crazy.
Steven's feelings, he sent a letter to Kenny, calling him out for abusing his wife.
Wow.
The letter also contained an obviously photoshopped image of Kenny with a random woman and child, suggesting that Kenny had some sort of double life that he was hiding from Tanya. This letter failed to get a reaction from the Fandriches, but Steven was still convinced that if he could somehow get Kenny out of the
This is
picture,
crazy.
then Tanya would come running back to him. So he decided to kick things up a
Look at
notch.
this fucking cornball. He just showed how corny he is. This nigga, y'all saw that Photoshop picture, how stupid that shit look?
In October of 2017, Kenny and Tanya got a notification that there was movement on one of their home security cameras.
Uh-oh.
When they looked at the footage, they saw someone crawling under Kenny's vehicle, but it was unclear what they were doing. Just to be safe, they contacted the Clackamas County Bomb Squad.
Look at this
Thankfully,
nigga.
there was no bomb attached to the car, but they did find a GPS tracking device.
Oh,
When the police
shit.
spoke to Steven, he told them that he was only trying to protect Tanya from Kenny. Since Kenny had a history of domestic violence, they believed this story and let Steven off with a warning. However, one police encounter wasn't going to stop Steven from getting what he wanted. In the summer of 2018, Steven was once again caught on camera sneaking around the Fandrich property.
Oh my God, bro. Look at this idiot.
He was seen planting a condom in Kenny's car, likely trying to make it
he's
appear
a
as
hater.
if Kenny was cheating. When this plan didn't work, Steven finally said enough is
This
enough.
nigga's a
He
hater.
knocked on Kenny's front door and confronted him directly. But things quickly escalated, and Steven was forced to do the unthinkable.
Kenny came out. He kind of advanced on me, and I just kept backpedaling until I couldn't go any further back. He seemed very angry. He told me not to chase his wife, and he would cut me into 1,000 pieces if I didn't stop.
Dog. She must have put it on this nigga so cold. Look out. Look. Good pussy, how you doing some wild shit, y'all. Like, look at this nigga, bro. He put a GPS tracker on the fucking vehicle. Then he went back, double back after getting caught. He got caught. Double back to put a condom. Like, what the fuck? Like, who even thinks of that? Like, I'm gonna go drop a condom in her man car.
So I reached up and kissed his cheek to diffuse the situation, and he stepped back, and that's what I was hoping for.
Following this incident, Kenny filed a protective order against Steven. But this didn't prevent him from harassing Tanya, who was still working for him at the clinic.
That is
He
awkward.
continued bothering her at work and sending her love letter after love letter, desperately trying to convince her to come back to him. According to Tanya, she felt tormented by Steven relentlessly
That's awkward
harassing
as
her
fuck.
and Kenny. However, one incident in 2021
Still working there?
seemed to contradict this claim. The police were called to the Fandrich household because Tanya and Kenny got into another domestic dispute.
Whoa.
This resulted in Tanya being handcuffed and thrown into the back of a police cruiser.
Why isn't he getting arrested?
She was taken to the county jail and placed behind bars.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, I thought she was like, you know what I mean, innocent. Hold on. She burnt the fuck out too. So she might be beating this nigga shit at the job, like, you know what I mean? Flirting with this nigga that's still giving him hints, like, and talking about what her dude be doing at home, like he don't treat her right. So she probably got this nigga doing some crazy shit. She might be trying to get this nigga to kill that nigga. This might be a plot. I'm telling y'all, this is gonna be a plot twist, bro.
The next day, Steven posted her $25,000 bail, and she stayed at his place for a few nights.
$25,000?
However, her charges were then dropped, and she reunited with Kenny. Shortly after, Tanya finally decided to leave Steven's practice, hoping to put an end to the harassment once and for all.
One day I just realized if I stay here, he still gets to keep all the control over me. And if I just take my talents somewhere else, then he loses control. He can't have power over me.
After years of rejection from his one true love,
I don't trust her,
Steven
bro.
was getting more and more frustrated. The tone in his letters to Tanya became more toxic than loving. I have held my tongue and taken the beating over and over because that is what I do.
I don't trust this Tanya girl, y'all. I'm getting weird vibes right now from this Tanya girl. She's like one of them bitches that she a cold bitch. Had these motherfuckers turn on each other, try to kill each other until one of them do, and then act like a victim. Like, oh, I didn't know. Why would he do that? And she probably was leading these niggas on. Like, she's giving me those vibes. Crazy bitch.
I kept my faith in you. I was just there waiting for you, trying to be nice, having my teeth kicked in. I am sorry that I scare you when I hit things. You are right. It is a sign of lost control, but it is a controlled loss of control. This toxic mindset led him to planting another tracking device on Kenny's vehicle and following him to work.
Where the fuck are you getting these from?
At the beginning of this video.
Okay, why are you following him?
He's literally got a life, and I've been trying to talk to him about it.
So, here's my advice to you. Okay? Leave them alone. He wants nothing to do
Damn,
with you.
he can't even
She
help
wants
it.
nothing to do with you. I understand there was an affair, all sorts of back history that went on. Okay?
On the body camera, he is going to kill her. She is going to die if he is going to kill her.
By this point, Kenny's
Jesus,
protective
bro.
order had expired, so Tanya and Kenny filed another one. Despite this protective order being granted, Kenny was constantly paranoid that Steven was going to kill him. He began drinking heavily again to cope with the stress, but this led to more conflict within the marriage.
Damn.
Then, on March 28th, 2022,
Uh-oh.
Kenny called the police saying that he had crashed his car into a tree on the side of the road.
Oh,
A
shit.
patrol officer responded to the scene, and it was immediately clear that Kenny was intoxicated.
God damn, Kenny, what the fuck? Kenny can't put the fucking bottle down, man. This nigga been drunk the whole goddamn reaction video.
What's your name, sir?
Kenny Fandrich.
Hey, Ken. Is that your car, man?
Yes, it is.
Okay, were you driving?
Yes, I was.
Okay, what happened?
My wife and I have been fighting today, and
I got a toxic
thought
relationship.
She was at her boss's house where I've caught her cheating on me.
Sorry.
I lost control of my car and just.
Okay.
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to drive. I didn't want to do any of that. It just.
Kenny was clearly spiraling into paranoia, desperately trying to balance the fear of Steven killing him with the fear of Steven taking his
Get it
life.
together, Kenny.
Over the next 5 months, this paranoia only amplified as
Get it
Steven
together,
violated
Kenny.
the protective order at least 7 times.
God
then,
damn.
in August of 2022, Steven was caught planting yet another tracking device on Kenny's car.
That's 3 tracking devices, y'all. This nigga keeps getting caught, but he will not stop. This is crazy, bro. Like, this shit really be happening all over the goddamn United States, bro. It'd be crazy. Have any of y'all ever had a stalker? I had a stalker before, dog. Craziest shit in my life, bro. Like, the bitch, like, crazy, bro. Outside the house. Nigga, I had to do Caltrans. Bitch was at Caltrans outside, keyed my truck up, all kind of shit. Like, crazy bitches, bro. Like, they be mentally fucked up like this. A demon takes over.
Was finally charged with violating the order. He was granted bond while he awaited his trial.
The stalker
next month,
demon.
Kenny filed a civil suit against Steven, demanding $245,000 for the emotional distress he had caused and the many invasions of privacy over the last 5 years. And now, about 4 months later, on January 27th, 2023, Kenny was dead in his car. The investigators decided to take a look at the parking garage surveillance video and found the footage of the masked man spray painting the cameras. The parking garage staff informed them that this wasn't the only time someone had spray painted their cameras. A month earlier, someone did the exact same thing, wearing almost the exact same outfit.
Look at this, dog. Come on, you cannot make this shit up, bro. Look at this stupid ass nigga. He probably thought he was getting away with some shit. Look at this nigga, y'all. I don't understand why people, when they do, like, crimes, like, bro, look at this shit. You think we ain't gonna know that's you, my nigga? Look at this shit.
In this footage, there was a distinct clue that could help identify who this person was. Right between his eyes, there was a deep-set forehead crease. One of Steven's defining facial features. On January 31st, 2023, Steven was pulled over into a parking lot and arrested for Kenny's murder.
Yeah, if you could roll down the window, that'd be great. Hi, sir. I'm Deputy Davis, the Sheriff's Office. We're being recorded by my camera, so everything's going to be audio and visual recorded. You understand that? Yes. Okay, sounds good. Right now, you're being detained. We're going to have some investigators come talk to you, okay?
Mr. Miller? Yes. Can you step out of the vehicle?
Your hands behind your back, please.
Run for it. Run
Following
for
his
it.
arrest, Stephen was charged
Damn,
with second
thought he
degree
was gonna try to
murder
run
and
for it.
stalking, as well as violating Kenny's protective order. He was booked into the Washington County Jail and denied bond. While Stephen was in custody, the police noticed that he had poorly applied makeup on his nose, covering something up. When the makeup was removed, it revealed a small scratch, which the detectives believed was a defensive wound sustained during the attack. Unfortunately, this scratch, along with the rest of the evidence gathered thus far, was purely circumstantial, which could make it difficult to prosecute Stephen. So the detectives
What the fuck?
continued hunting down more evidence to strengthen their case against him. They executed a search warrant for his home, and they discovered what they called a shrine to Tanya. His bedside table was chock full of Tanya memorabilia, including framed photos of her, lovey-dovey post-it notes, cards from when they were together, and several pairs of her underwear.
It's really some sick. What the fuck is this, bro? It's really hard. Let me take
They
it
also
off.
found a cardboard cutout of Stephen as a glistening, muscular man in jorts with a paw print tattoo on his chest. After a thorough investigation, the detectives were surprised to find out that the cardboard cutout had nothing to do with Kenny's death. Using GPS location data, they were able to trace
That
Stephen's
shit took my whole train. I was about to say something, that pause ass shit popped up on the screen, man. God damn it. Oh, I was gonna say, nigga, you gotta be a sick ass nigga, like, just to keep all that shit on a woman. Like, that's damn near like some voodoo shit, nigga. Like, you keeping everything about her that you have in a drawer, her drawers, her toothbrush, pictures, her deodorant, her lip gloss, her, like, you a fucking, there's some sickos out here, y'all. Ladies, be careful. There's some real fucking sickos in the world. Fellas, too. There's some sick bitches out here, too. Y'all be careful. You can't be out here just, you know what I mean, fucking everything and thinking it's cool and everybody gonna leave with no emotions, man. You gotta be careful.
movements on the day of the murder. Hours before the attack, he was captured parking his white SUV in a Home Depot parking lot and getting into the maroon minivan that Kenny was later killed.
Busted.
The minivan was then seen leaving the parking lot
This
and
nigga's
heading
a
in the
goofy.
direction of Kenny's work. On another day, about a month before the murder, Stephen could be seen once again parking his white SUV, but
He's
this
a
time he got
goofy.
into a blue Buick. The same blue Buick that exited the parking garage moments after the cameras were spray painted. He then parked the Buick in the middle of the parking lot, exited the vehicle, and started walking towards the Home Depot.
Oh
He
my
entered the
God.
store, and after
Oh.
a few minutes of shopping, he paid at the self-checkout and left with a new pair of sunglasses. The same sunglasses he was wearing when he spray painted the cameras.
Oh my
He was also
God,
wearing the same
dog.
boots and potentially the same jeans. The detective's main concern now was finding the maroon
What an
minivan
idiot.
because it likely contained forensic evidence from the murder. It turned out that the van had been discovered abandoned on the side of the highway a few days after the murder, and it had been sold to a scrap metal company. When the detectives reached out to the scrapyard, it was too late. The minivan had already been completely demolished. Despite this disappointment, they were still confident that they had more than enough evidence to prosecute Stephen. His trial began in January
an
of
idiot.
2025, and the prosecution took the jury through the years of harassment that Stephen had put Kenny and Tanya through, including all of the incriminating surveillance
What an
footage.
idiot.
They also revealed that the crime lab found Stephen's DNA on Kenny's hands, which the prosecution believed was the nail in the coffin for Stephen.
Got his DNA underneath the nigga fingernail from scratching his nose. Like, what? All right, brother. What was the end goal here? You doing all this allegedly or supposedly over the woman, only for you to end up in jail and not get the woman when it's all said and done. Like, was it all worth it, my nigga? Because at the end of the day, you still didn't get the woman. And now you in jail with all men for the rest of your life. Well, let's see how much time they give him.
However, when the prosecution rested their case, the defense called Stephen himself to the stand, and he had an explanation for everything. He tried to justify his long history of stalking, saying that his affair with Tanya actually lasted much longer than she would admit.
It was a romantic relationship. I was very afraid of her by then. She seemed to have more bruises. She was, as far as I understood, trying to leave him, and he would just keep talking her into not. She couldn't make that final break. In the beginning, I didn't feel or realize how dangerous he was. I would say the middle of 2018 is probably when I started getting very concerned about it. I was trying to push them into breaking up.
Even when she left Stephen's practice and excommunicated him, he said that he felt a sense of responsibility to protect the woman he loved.
I still obviously cared for Tanya as a person, and it just seemed like she was trapped in this. I was trying to push them over the edge to them breaking up.
He confessed to the court that after several failed attempts to put an end to their relationship, he started following Kenny with the goal of getting him arrested and thrown in jail.
I was going to try and catch Kenny driving when he got his DUI. I think he had lost his license, and I was trying to get him arrested.
Why was it your responsibility?
Yeah, like why, bro? Why? God damn, you could have kept it playing. You probably could have kept the bitch. You started acting like a goddamn idiot. That made her want to go back to him. Like, shit, I might as well be with this idiot. I don't want to be with you if you're going to act like this. Know what I'm saying? You could have kept it player and did the complete opposite. She probably would have still fucked with you, nigga.
To enforce Oregon traffic.
I was trying to keep Tanya from getting killed.
According to Stephen, January 27th, 2023 was just another attempt to get Kenny arrested. But when Kenny came back to his vehicle after work, he realized that Stephen was in the minivan, so he opened the van door and began attacking Stephen.
Basically fought for a little bit. There was pushing and shoving. Eventually I was able to kind of push him up against the car and then shove him into the car.
I was pushing on him on his chest, and I may have pushed on his neck. I don't know. It happened really quickly. I was in my van, I jumped down, and he was attacking me. Oh, it was a fight. It was crazy and fast. I absolutely was not intending to kill Kenny Fandrich.
The prosecution found this explanation.
Yes, you was, nigga. You was trying to kill him. You didn't do all that just to fight him, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
To be extremely far-fetched. They believed that the idea of someone breaking their neck by being pushed into their own car made no sense. During cross-examination, they also highlighted Stephen's questionable actions following the murder.
Where did you swap cars?
At Sunnyside Hospital.
Why did you need to do that?
I was getting rid of the car, the van.
Why?
Because I just drove it to a place where somebody died.
So you were trying to cover up that you were there?
Yes.
Golly, this idiot, bro. This nigga's a real idiot, y'all.
Even though it was just an accident.
After a 7-day trial, the jury deliberated for 6 hours before reaching their verdict.
Guilty.
Right, there's our 12 jurors. Go and have a seat. I'm now reading the verdict form.
That's a no-brainer.
As to count 1, murder in the second degree, guilty. As to count 2, stalking, guilty. As to count 3, it says guilty. As to count 4, it says guilty.
Stephen was found guilty on all 7 charges, and his sentencing took place on February 18th,
of course.
2025.
How much time he got? How much time y'all think he got? Let me know. Let me know what y'all think. How much time? How much time should he get? He's already an old man. Let's go ahead and rock this out, brother. Let's give you about 45 years, nigga. 45, nigga.
Parties prepared for sentencing. Yes, sir.
But before Stephen's punishment was handed down, Tanya took the stand to give her impact statement. She used this opportunity to address Stephen directly.
For years, you tormented Kenny and me, leaving us as your victims. Now it is me standing here in front of you, and hear me clearly when I say, I have witnessed your insatiable need to be seen as a hero, which you clearly are not. I will never believe that you thought my life was in danger. You needed a defense for the savage and brutal way you killed Kenny. I love Kenny. We weren't perfect, but there was no shortage of love, commitment, and partnership between us. And you couldn't stand that. I ask and I pray that the judge gives you the maximum allowable sentence.
Sir, can you stand up now, Mr. Milner?
Yeah, let's see how long. Let's see how long he finna get, y'all.
I'm sentencing you to lifetime imprisonment.
After 6 years of
life. Oh, they gave his ass life. You out of here, buddy.
harassment, which ultimately resulted in a needless death, Stephen Milner finally faced the consequences of his actions. He currently resides at the Snake River Correctional Institution in Ontario, Oregon, and will spend the rest of his life behind bars.
All right. He's out of here. Stupid. What did you think was going to happen, bro? You got caught, like, and he was doing that shit over a matter of all those months, bro. Kept getting caught, kept getting caught, kept getting caught, kept getting caught. And to think you finna go get away with a murder, somebody who's been stalking this man and harassing him for 1.5 years, 2 years, and then he ends up dead, and you think you're not going to be suspect number one who they finna come look at? And just because you put on some goddamn glasses and a beanie and a goddamn hard hat, they ain't gonna know it's you. What a fucking idiot, man. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. Life. He got life. Was that cool? Was that too much? Was that justified? You know what I'm saying? I say he should have got it, nigga. Fucking idiot. But let me know what y'all think, man. What y'all think about this situation. I'm gonna give y'all 2 seconds to smash the like. And as always, get ready for the next reaction.